Hello, welcome to another vlog. How is everyone doing today? I had a fairly productive morning. I went for a run. That was my workout today, and showered, did a little bit of work, and now I'm here chatting with you guys. We have quite a bit to catch up on. We've got some big changes happening here. So, gosh. Where shall I start? I'm going to start with the conversation I had with my trainer yesterday. So, as you guys know, I've been working out with a trainer for the past 7, almost 8 months. And, he's put me on a meal plan and he's put me on a workout regimen. And I've stuck to it pretty closely. I mean, as you guys know, you've seen me go on vacation. I've pretty much eaten whatever I want. When I have friends in town or if I go out to dinner, I kind of put it aside. But for the majority of the time, and we've talked about this, consistency and all that stuff, for most of the time, I follow his protocol. And I feel like I've done pretty well on it. I've lost quite a bit of weight. That was never really my goal, but it was nice to see some weight come off. I feel stronger. And this was really my goal, I feel a lot healthier. Before I started working out with him, I really wasn't doing a lot of weights. I was doing a lot of cardio and some light weights, really kind of working out versus training. Very big difference. And so I really wanted to start training, which is why I signed up with him. The biggest change I've seen, or not change, the strongest piece of evidence, let me say that, the strongest piece of evidence I've noticed is I have this very weak muscle in my lower right back, and I will throw it out occasionally. So it's not my spine. I don't have like a herniated disc or anything like that, but I have a muscle that it's the one that kind of dictates like the movement of your hip. So it's very, very low. It attaches from your hip actually to your spine. So that one I hurt. I don't know how or where, probably working out. I have a pretty weak core. That's like my weak point on my area is my gut. And so anytime I've hurt that, and anyone with back problems, it's like you'll bend over or you'll move into a certain position and it'll be there it goes. And I don't lose complete mobility, but for me, it's the action of bending over and then standing straight. It's like once I'm straight, I'm fine. And once I'm bent over, I'm fine. But it's that everything in between that is very painful, very weak. It's that muscle that when I try and lift up my right leg or is it my left leg? Actually, I think it's cross. I think it's my left leg. When I try and lift up my leg to put it into, a pair of pants, I can't. It's like I have to help that leg. Like that's how weak it gets. Anyway, twice since I've started working out with him, I have hurt my back, but it has recovered like almost the next day. I think the first time I heard it, it was pretty close actually when I first started working out with him. And it took maybe like 2 or 3 days. But in the past, it has taken a week, 2 weeks, and it's this really slow recovery where every day I'll feel just a little bit better. Since working out with him, the recovery is so fast. And the last time I felt like a little tinge in my back, I want to say the next day I felt fine. I was like, okay. I still didn't want to push it because I was like, whoa, this usually lasts a lot longer. But it was just a day. I hurt it the way I normally hurt. It hurt that one day. I woke up the next day and it was fine. And the only difference I've made is the working out. So I feel like all of the weight training, getting stronger, has really helped the strength of my body. So I'm so happy about that, because I don't think we can necessarily prevent injuries. We can do everything we can, right? But there will come a point where you may hurt yourself. You may strain yourself. You may show some poor form. You may get out of a chair incorrectly, whatever it is. But I think what shows health and strength is the speed of improvement, because that has definitely declined as I've gotten older. Am I right? Everything takes so long. Recovery, feeling better after getting a cold, all of that stuff. Jet lag, I've talked about that. Just like the recovering of stuff has taken longer and longer the older I've gotten. But I feel like for things like this specifically, I've shortened the timeline, which is so great. It's so great. So anyway, I feel like I'm seeing really great strides in what I wanted to see, which is really great. It's so fantastic because sometimes you go down a road of change in your life in hopes for something, and sometimes it doesn't happen. So anyway, back to the conversation I had with my trainer yesterday. He was like, it's time. It's time to change it up. It's time to amp it up. And I was like, what do you mean? What does that mean? What are we talking about? I got nervous immediately, but he said, you can do this. He's like, do you want to, start really building some muscle mass and really start seeing those changes? Because that was another thing too. I'm like, I feel like I've been working out my whole life and I don't see anything. I don't see muscles. And I had expressed that to him when we first met. So he's like, okay. He's like, do you want to see muscle? He's like, it takes a lot to see definition when you're not like flexing or whatever. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So he sent me a new meal plan and a new workout regimen. So he sent me a whole new protocol. It's intense, a lot more weight training and eating more. So eating more, but more, lean protein, and I have high carb and low carb days now or whatever. So it's a bit of a change from what I'm doing. I am going to continue doing what I'm doing, I think, until the end of this week, because I just have a lot of food that I bought that I'm not seeing as much of on this new meal plan. So I'm like, let me basically clean out the pantry with the stuff that I bought, like sweet potatoes. I'm not eating half as many sweet potatoes as I am on my current routine. So anyway, that's going to be a big change. I'm feeling good about it though. I'm feeling good about it because I do feel very comfortable in my current routine. And as we know, as soon as you start to feel comfortable, you got to change it up. So that's what we're doing. We're changing it up. And on the same note, a doctor that I came across when I was doing carnivore, her name is Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, and I started following her and I really liked what she had to say. And I really like her conversation surrounding diet. Anyway, she came out with a book. This is probably, I don't know, a month old at this time, but it's pretty new. It's called Forever Strong. So I got this and I actually got a copy for my trainer because, his protocol is very, kind of old school bodybuilder. Nothing wrong with it. I think it gets you to a certain point. I think, he'll definitely be able to help me reach my goal of like seeing muscles. But I wanted him to read this because there's, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. There's a lot more fat in her diet, which of course appeals to me. I'm much more of like a fat addict than I am a carb addict. So anyway, I wanted to mention that. Have any of you guys read this? Do you guys know Dr. Gabrielle Lyon? I really, really respect her and the research that she's done and all of her credentials and everything, just fantastic. So got that book, which adds to one of my goals for 2024, which is reading less mystery, crime, true crime novels. That's very far from that. So not only helping me get healthy, but also helping me with one of my goals. So that's one change that is coming. I'm excited for, I'm nervous for, all the feelings surrounding change. So I'm excited for that. So I wanted to give you guys an update on my assistant situation since I've talked about it. Who helps me in the background? It's like, okay, Michelle, who really cares? But I've talked about it in the past. I've talked about getting editors. And, I think this is such an important part of and such an important aspect of the journey if you're going to work for yourself, if you're trying to keep a business afloat, grow your business, all those things. It's really important to surround yourself with the right people. So anyway, the editor situation, that goes back and forth. I do work with one company. If I have the time, I will edit my videos. So I would say at this point, they're editing like 5 to 10% of my videos. I just really don't give myself enough lead time to let them edit it and then come back to me with a draft and then go back and forth. I can give them the time to edit it, but I don't have the time to kind of go back and forth with it. I'm just not that organized. Enter assistant. So getting an assistant, was always my hope, just to have an extra pair of hands. you know, just can't do it all. Just can't do it all. And you guys know I had an assistant actually here in Vegas. She was wonderful. She was local, so she could stop by the house and help me do things and run errands. I mean, it was great. It was great. But she moved on to bigger and better things. I'm so happy for her. But then I was left on my own again. So enter my friend who has left corporate America. She couldn't take it anymore. I was like, bravo. Bravo, good for you. So anyway, she's been helping me little by little with certain things. I would just reach out to her every once in a while and be like, would you wanna handle this by any chance? She'd be like, sure. She's just open for everything. She has the perfect work experience for me. She's always worked in like an executive assistant, office manager capacity. She says she really just loves supporting people. That's her thing. So anyway, I've been giving her more and more things. And so finally, she's gonna be working with me. We're working up to a full-time situation because, you know, I'm kind of giving her things like slowly because she's never worked in the influencer social media world. So there's, you know, a lot of things to kind of get up to speed on. But oh my gosh, it's working out really, really well. I'm so, so happy to have some help again. And while I would love some help in person, there's plenty of computer work where I need help. So she's the one that's actually been helping me with the Mercari shop. I just send her stuff, she posts it and whatever. So that's been so great having her help there. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that she's actually coming into town this weekend because I wanted to train her on some, you know, just some things on the computer. I'll be giving her a laptop. So I feel like an adult, you guys. I feel like an adult. You know, as an entrepreneur, as someone who's a small business owner, there's a lot of talk about mindset and money and budgeting and, you know, where to spend your energy and work-life balance and all that kind of stuff. But there isn't a ton of talk and chatter about how to hire, who to hire first, sit down and figure out like what you need done. Do you need full-time? Do you need contract? Like there isn't a lot of talk about that. And maybe because there isn't any formula, you know, any one formula for every business, you just kind of have to figure out what you need the most. What are your biggest pain points? But it's been, you know, it's been a long time, kind of with the editors back and forth. And then the idea of like an assistant, do I need one? What kind do I need? Even before Zeta, my assistant who was here, I had a high schooler help me, just come whenever she could or whatever. So that was like a very small like stepping stone into this whole assistant area. So yeah, it's just been a long, long time, a long, long time coming. And it's really great working with a friend because we know each other and we can say things to each other and know we're not hurting each other's feelings or, you know, or like, how is that going to come across? Like we've been through it all. So yeah, so that's really exciting. So she's coming this weekend. I'm so excited. Butters is so excited that her auntie is coming. So anyway, it's my friend Laura that you guys have seen over on Mishmas. I don't think sorry, I failed to mention who it was, but it's my friend Laura. So she was here over Mishmas. That was, you know, she came to like help me out essentially just to kind of keep things running as I was losing my mind as I always do during Mishmas. So it was great having her. And yeah, we've just been kind of like building our work relationship slowly over the past several months. So it's just been really nice, really, really nice. So I'll definitely be vlogging while she's here. It'll probably be in the next vlog, not this one. But anyway, gosh, big changes, big changes. So those were the changes that I wanted to mention to you guys. Oh, I have to show you guys, I'm so sorry. I haven't shown you guys what I ended up buying at PRADA. I think that was my last vlog up. Yeah, I did my Beautylish recommendations video, so their gift card event is going on. So definitely check that out. I love this gift card event. I do feel like this event's popularity has waned a bit over the past few years, but I still love it. I mean, I think they still carry the best brushes and some brands that you can't easily find elsewhere. So anyway, I made some recommendations, so definitely check out that video if you're interested. And then the vlog before that, I went shopping at PRADA and I never showed you guys what I got. So this cardigan actually is something that I got. I had to copy my friend Julie. So when I was in Palm Springs with my friend Julie, she put this sweater on. Where were we going? Oh, to the spa. We were going to the spa. She put it over a navy blue dress. This is navy blue, if you can't tell. I think it maybe looks black, but it's navy blue. And I was like, what is that sweater? I love that sweater. She's like, oh, it's old Prada, you know, from like last spring, summer, so like a year ago. So anyway, she was wearing the sweater and I was like, is that cotton? Oh, so I know Julie from knitting. So because, you know, she's a knitter, I'm a knitwear designer. We're very, very well acquainted with different fibers. So I'm looking at her cardigan, I'm like, is that cotton? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I don't really like cotton, because cotton it's heavy, it feels dry. It doesn't have that kind of smoothness that animal fibers have, like wool, cashmere, yak. You guys have heard me go on and on about that, which I really like. And she said, well, ever since I started getting just really hot randomly, or just my body temperature has risen, I've really come to appreciate cotton. And I was like, what a good point, because same. I'm not experiencing hot flashes that much anymore. I was for a while there, you guys probably remember. I just feel like my resting body temperature, is that a thing? Like resting heart rate? I feel like my resting body temperature is just a little higher. Just a little higher, all the time. But I do still like layering cardigans and things, even in the summertime here, because the AC is crazy. Another thing you guys have heard me say 1,000 times. The AC is just crazy. And if it's like blowing right on you, it can almost feel like you're like getting sick. It's like, ugh. So anyway, was admiring Julie's cardigan and then forgot about it. And then I went to Prada and I was trying on all those coats. I'll show you which one I ended up getting. And on the shelf, I see this one lone navy blue cardigan. They only had like black, camel, gray, creams, off-whites, you know, whatever, on their shelves, and they have all their sweaters, you know, like stacked or whatever. And I was like, is that the cotton cardigan from last year? And of course, my sales associate was like, I have no idea. So she pulled it down, and there it was. And so they looked it up because it's a little bit big on me. It's saddle shoulder, so it's gonna have a really squared off shoulder here. So saddle shoulder is you have a piece here, and then it comes over, turns into the cap. So it's like this flat detailing right here. Anyway, it can make you look kind of broad, and it will sit differently on your shoulder versus like a drop shoulder or raglan or set in sleeve or whatever. So it has this great saddle shoulder detailing. I'm not sure you can see it. Maybe when we go upstairs into my closet, I could show it to you better. So they were looking up different sizes for me, and this was like the only one left in the country. I was like, I will take it. I think what really sold me on the cardigan, hold on, I have to remove my mic here, is that it has buttons, but it also has a zipper. So you can zip it up. Hold on, let me back up here. So you can zip it up and then button it over it, or just zip it, or do neither, or whatever. But I love, love, love that detail. It's just this really random, detail that I just really love. Anyway, that's what caught my eye when Julie was wearing it. I was like, what is this? What's going on with this sweater? And it's got pockets, of course, set in pockets, which is so great. They're not patch pockets, so they look kind of invisible. But it's just got a great kind of like hang to it, probably because it's cotton and it's heavy. But yeah, Julie pretty much sold me on it because I was admiring it. And she was like, I wear this all the time. And I was like, I can imagine. So anyway, when I saw it, I snagged it. So this is one thing I got at Prada. And I love it. And I don't have a lot of navy blue. You know, I'm definitely more of like a black, gray, camel kind of gal. But yeah, I think I want to beef up my navy and like chocolate brown and like deep kind of brown burgundy. I feel like that's coming for this fall. We're just going to skip over spring, summer. But that's, I feel like, what's coming for this fall. Oh my gosh, so much chit-chatting this morning. Well, friends, it has been a few days since I filmed that intro. I actually just sat down to edit this vlog, and this microphone just decided to stop working. I don't do anything but like hit a button to turn it on. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Anyway, we are going to redo the PRADA Haul portion of this vlog and then cut it there. So I was showing you this cardigan. I'm still wearing this cardigan though, like 3 days later. I have not taken this cardigan off. This was such a good purchase, but I was showing this to you in the intro, and I think the lighting was too dark, but I think here you can see the saddle shoulder detail. So there it is in the back, and here it is in the front. So saddle shoulder comes this way and then opens up into the sleeve. And I think you were able to see the buttons and the zipper detail, and then it's got pockets here. It is like the perfect cardigan. It really is. And I can't remember if I said this in the intro because it was a couple days ago, but it is cotton, which I don't usually go for. Cotton is a much drier, not very stretchy or forgiving kind of a fiber, and it's a plant fiber. It's, you know, some people think it's easier to take care of because you can just, you know, wash it or whatever. But I do think because it's cotton, you have to wash it more often versus like wool and cashmere. But it is so great now that it's getting a little bit warmer out. Cotton is much cooler than animal fibers. So yeah, I've just been loving this, loving it. And I really like the navy. It actually goes with a lot more of what I have than I thought. And I actually threw it over my Amazon dress, this dress that I've been wearing nonstop for a few years now. Now that the weather is a little bit warmer here in Vegas, I whipped this out. So anyway, yeah, it's like the perfect layering piece. But I came back up here to my closet because I wanted to show you what jacket I ended up getting. So I did end up getting the black jacket with the caramel trim. So the caramel trim is leather. There is a belt to this jacket. I will model it for you. It's got flap pockets right there by the hip. And it's very simple. It's got a raglan sleeve. So it's a nice kind of like cocoon coat. It's longer than a car coat. It's sort of like a, what kind of length would you call this? I feel like there's a name for it and I can't recall it right now. Almost like a rain slicker length. It's got a shirt collar, simple, you know, typical Prada re-nylon, but I really like the caramel trim. And if you guys saw my shopping at Prada vlog, I tried on a bunch of olive khaki green nylon jackets that have this caramel trim, and I really thought I was going to go for one of those. I really love green, as you guys know, but they just didn't work for whatever reason. So the shirt jacket version I tried on, I really liked, but it had the flat pockets here over the breast, and I thought, oh God, is that just like too much going on in that area? But it actually, I thought, looked okay. I just didn't like the pockets. I mean, they were purely decorative. Fine, I get that. I would never use these. But then there was no like pocket at all. And so it really was just like a shirt jacket. And I was like, I don't need a shirt jacket. A shirt jacket with decorative breast pockets. So I was like, okay, passed on that. And then the other green olive khaki version I tried on was belted, and it was more of a car coat length. It was a lot shorter than this black one. And it had the flat pockets down by the hips here. But because it had that belt buckle in the front, like if you lifted up the flap to put your hand in the pocket, like the whole belt strap was like kind of sticking up. It was a very awkward pocket. Again, I think purely decorative, but this was most definitely like an outerwear piece. And these pockets were positioned in a more practical area than the breast pocket one. So I was like, these should be more usable. And they really weren't. And I thought it would have been smart if they could like put a little, like a side thing underneath the patch pocket. Like I thought that would be really cool, but they didn't do that. So it was like these, again, very decorative pockets on this jacket, and I just didn't like it. And then something about the color and the fact that it was like belted and the length of that particular jacket, it just was very paramilitary in not the right way. Like I don't mind a paramilitary look, but this just, I was like, I feel like this is giving off the wrong vibes. So anyway, I tried on the black and I really liked it. I tried on a size 40 first, and it was very voluminous. And then when you belted it, it just looked even odder. They didn't have a size 38, so I tried the 36, which is what I ended up getting. The jacket, I think, looks fine. The belt is a little bit tight. It's very, very tight around my waist. Am I gonna wear it with the belt every time? I don't know. I would probably like that option. I think I just need to punch an extra hole in the belt. So I do have room for that. I can just punch an extra hole here. So not a big deal, but I was really kind of hoping that they had a 38, but alas, no. But anyway, let me try this jacket on for you. Okay, so here it is, completely buttoned up. Probably would never wear it this way, I don't know. Completely buttoned up without the belt. And these flap pockets are very usable. So, you know, this is just a flap, very simple. What I was explaining about the green one, it had this whole belt strap here so that when you flipped it up, there was this whole belt strap that you had to deal with on the flap. So anyway, these are very usable pockets. And this is a pretty lightweight coat. There's a very fine lining inside. It's not just the nylon. There is a fine lining inside, but it is very, very thin. So I think it's great for like spring, early summer. I think it's great for that. Super simple. But let me put the belt on for you. So here it is belted, and I feel like it transforms this coat from like a very minimal like raincoat sort of situation into like, it has like almost like a 1950s silhouette to it, you know, one of those, I don't know, like a Dior dress. Where it really comes out and really accentuates the hips. But I think that's what won me over with this coat, that I really liked it with or without the belt. And of course, I don't even need to use this belt. I can always like throw a different belt on here or something, maybe one that's a little bit more comfortable. But this caramel trim I just think is so, so cool. So anyway, that is what I ended up getting at Prada. All right, so that's it for this vlog. I'm so sorry. I had so much other stuff. Like I went to that event that actually I posted on Instagram about. I went to the like pre-opening for Todo Bien, which is this tequila tiki bar here in Vegas. It opened up this past Thursday. So I did that, and I think I mentioned in my intro that my friend Laura is visiting. So she's flying out here to both work and play. So very excited for that. I also made a quick Target run, which I can show you in my next vlog, but I'm going to cut this here so that I can edit this and get this up for you guys. But thank you so much for tuning in. I apologize, and hopefully no more mic issues. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye.